Okay, this is lesson 3 in the measurement unit in Workplace Math 10. Today we're going to be converting between imperial and metric lengths. Now, imperial and metric lengths don't convert that well because it involves a lot of decimals. But this chart we can use here as kind of like a formula sheet. So this chart shows us how to convert between imperial and imperial, how to convert imperial to metric. Again, here is where you'll see all those decimal places, and then metric to metric. Okay, and I just put the most common lengths. So feet, yards, miles for imperial, also inches, and millimeters, centimeters, meters, kilometers for metric. Okay, so let's convert these. So it says the Fraser River is 1,375 kilometers long. Let's convert it to the nearest mile. Okay, so we're going to use a nice calculation here where we keep all of the units. Let's start with what we have. We have 1,375 kilometers. Now let's go to our chart and let's find the conversion that helps us convert from kilometers to miles. And that is right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by this conversion, and I'm going to do it in a way that cancels out the kilometers and gives me miles. So I'm going to use a fraction actually. And I'm going to put 1 mile on the top because that's the unit we want to keep. And I'm going to put kilometers on the bottom because when you're multiplying fractions, if there's something in the numerator and denominator, they cancel out. So notice here I'll be left with miles. So that's how you do the conversion. And it's nice to keep the units there to make sure you're canceling it out correctly. So this is what I'm going to go ahead and type in my calculator. I'm going to clear what I had before. So I'm going to type 1,375 times 1. We don't need to multiply by 1, but I'm just showing that. Divided by 1.609. And I get 854.56. Now it says convert to the nearest mile. That means we want to round to the nearest whole number. So I want to look at that 4 and I want to bump that up to a 5 because the number next to it is a 5 or higher. So 854.568. I'm going to write the whole thing out to start with. 854.568 miles, but because it says nearest mile, that means I don't want to have any decimal places. I want to round it to a whole number, and it's next to a 5. I want to bump it up. So it's going to be approximately 855 miles. And again, we round it up there because it's next to a 5. Okay, so you can try this next one or you can do it with me. So it says a desk is 3 feet long. So I want to start with what I've got. And I want to convert it to the nearest tenth, that means one number after the decimal, of a centimeter. So I'm going to go to my chart here and see where I can convert feet, I'm going to erase the other circle, to centimeters. And I found that right here. It says 1 foot is 30.48 centimeters. And I'm going to set this up so that I have a fraction where I cancel out what I don't want anymore and I put what I do want. So I'm going to put feet on the bottom, 1 foot, because that will cancel the feet out and give me centimeters. I'm going to put that on the top. Okay, so this is what I type into my calculator. 3 feet times 30.48, and you can divide by 1 or not, it doesn't matter. It's going to give you the same answer, 91.44. And it says round to the nearest tenth, which is one number after the decimal place, and that's next to a 4. So that means I can keep it as 91.4 centimeters. Okay, let's do two-step problems. So in two-step problems, we're going to need to multiply by 2 different conversions. Okay, and we're going to show our answer in 2 different ways because sometimes there's different ways to get there. So I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to convert this doorway, which is in 3 meters, to the nearest inch. Okay, so let's go to our conversion chart. And if I want to get meters to inches, notice the only thing I can convert to in meters is yards. So I can go meters to yards and then yards to inches. Yards to inches. It doesn't say it on here, but 1 yard has 36 inches. So I can do that. Or, that's one way, or I'll use a different color. Or I could go meters to centimeters and then centimeters to inches. That's another way. So these are two-step problems because you need to do 2 different conversions to get to what you want. Okay, so let's do the first one first. I'll go yards to meters and then, meters to yards and then yards to inches. Okay, so I want to go meters to inches. So I'm going to start with what I have and then multiply with where I need to go. So I'm going to go meters to yards to inches. So there is, if you look at the chart, 1 yard has 0.9144 meters. And I'm going to multiply again, because so now I'm in yards, because the meters have canceled. Now I'm going to multiply again by 36 inches in 1 yard. So now see the yards have canceled, and I'm left with what I need, which is inches. Okay, so this is how you would type that into your calculator. So you'd go 3 times 1 divided by, so this is the first fraction, 0.9144. And then now this is the second fraction, times 36 divided by 1. Now you don't need to type those ones in. I'm just doing it for completeness, for understanding. And see, I get about 118.1. So nearest inch should be about 118 inches. Let's do it the other way. So meters to centimeters to inches. So start with what you have. Now for centimeters, there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. Okay, notice the meters are canceling. I've got centimeters now. Okay, and then I have 1 inch in 2.54 centimeters, and the centimeters have canceled now, and I'm left with what I want. And if I type that in, so you can go ahead, I would try this on your own to make sure you know how to use your calculator. 3 times 100, this time I'm not going to type the ones, times 1 divided by 2.54. 118, see, same answer. So sometimes there's more than one way to do the 2-step problems. So it's about 118, the doorway is about 118 inches tall. Okay, so you can try this one now. The race is 1.6 kilometers. I would pause it here and try on your own. We want to convert that into yards. So one way to do that, if you go up to your chart, so kilometers to yards, I'm going to erase the circles we had. Kilometers to yards. So one way to do that, I see here yards, I have meters. So one way to do it first is to convert to meters, then convert your meters into yards. Or you could convert your kilometers into miles and then your miles into yards. That's another way. Okay. Either way, so I'll show both. So the first method is to go kilometers to meters to yards. So start with what you have, 1.6 kilometers, and then there's 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. So again, you want to make sure the units we don't want anymore have canceled out. And then 1 yard is about 0.9144 meters. Again, the meters have now canceled out and we're left with yards, which is what I want. I want yards. Okay, so in our calculator, we would type in 1.6 times 1,000 divided by 1 times 1 divided by 0.9144. You get about 1749.78. Says nearest yard, so we want to round that to the nearest whole number. So 1,000, so 1749 bumps up because it's next to a 7 to 1750. So 1,750 yards. Okay, here's the other way. Kilometer, again, I would pause this here, see if you can do it. We want to start with what we have, 1.6 kilometers, then change it to miles. So for miles, there is 1.609 kilometers in 1 mile. Right, the kilometers cancel, we've got miles. That's what we want. And then we're going to convert it to yards. There's 1,760 yards in 1 mile. See, the miles have canceled now, and we've got yards, which is what I want. And so in our calculator, we type that in, you'll get the same answer, 1750. So the race is about 1,750 yards long.